Cool, what's up? We're back at Vax, Badfoot, another bike, and we're gonna do a little intro here on this bike, I guess, right? All right, so the bike started out as, I wanted to build an FXR, and I wanted to do like an FXR chopper, and I couldn't find a frame at the time. So I got a stock frame off of eBay with no title. I think the down tube was bent, and I got it, I had it a couple years, and then I was just gathering parts for it. Then I eventually cut the frame and stretched it and got all this stuff together for it. So I think the frame was an 84 or 85, and then the drivetrain is a hodgepodge of stuff, all different years. So the frame, like I said, I cut and stretched it. So I cut the square backbone out. That was the big thing. You're limited with that square backbone and that big bulky neck on you know, what tanks you can run. And I also wanted the bike to sit high. I wanted to run like 4 or 6 over forks, but not have the front end real far out. So what I did was I cut the backbone out by the seat section, and then I cut the down tubes down here and basically took that whole front section off. And then put a round backbone in it, so it's like probably about 1 inch or so longer, and it's 2.5 inches taller. And then what I did was I de-raked it to 26. So with the longer forks, it steers the same as like a 28 or 29 degree bike without the forks being out and the wheelbase getting real long. That was the frame as far as what I did with the frame. And then the drivetrain and all that stuff is, well, actually no, I cut the frame also to fit a twin cam drivetrain. So when I did this bike, I wanted to be able to put any motor and tranny in here that I wanted to. So even though I ran an Evo, I cut the cross member out and made mounts to run Dyna foot controls. So it's got a Dyna foot control on this side and Dyna foot control on this side and whatnot. And then I just run a big twin like soft tail, shovel head, pan head kickstand in the front. So this, even though this has an Evo in it, it'll take any drivetrain. And this drivetrain is, the motor's a 90 out of a 96 Road King that actually used to be a customer of mine, and he went to a bigger motor, and I took this and just basically re-gasketed it, went through it, painted the cylinders and stuff like that, obviously. But the motor's out of a 96 Road King. It's probably got over 200,000 miles on it now. I put a EV27 cam in it, S&S oil pump, set of big axle tappets. It's got the late model 2-piece rocker boxes, which is, if you got an Evo, it's definitely the way to go. The breathing system in these is superior to the old style. I mean, no oil on that air cleaner. Nothing passes through here. That's, you know, I don't even know how many miles ago I changed those, over 50,000 miles. And then it does have a bagger type oil tank, but Evo era with the 2 bolts instead of the 4. And the dipsticks here, same thing as like a 99 and up dresser. And it's got, which I drilled the transmission for from the 5/8 bolt to 3/4, and it has the bigger swing arm. So it has a 02 swing arm, 94 transmission, 96 motor, and then the primaries are from a 2000 and up, you know, 2000 FXR4. Actually, those came off of a customer I had put a belt drive on the bike, and I was able to score these FXR4 primaries. Got the 5-bolt derby cover, and you know, so it's basically like 94 and up FXR. So it's got the later model starter and later model clutch in it. Like I said, I drilled it out. It's got the bigger swing arm with the eccentric adjusters, chain conversion. Paint job was done by painting by Bryson out of Fort Myers, Florida. I didn't want like a flashy paint job. I wanted almost like, you know, old hand painted style. So I told him what I wanted, and he did. I mean, if I knew how to do this type of paint work, this is how I would have did it. So to say I was happy would be an understatement. And basically this is Coney Island on one side where I'm from, and on the other side is the Florida, you know, just Everglade type stuff, which I go to Florida almost every winter for a couple months, you know, snowbird. Bike ride's great. I let a couple people ride it. that have FXRs and ride bikes all the time, and they're always surprised how good it handles. I mean, basically it's like maybe an inch longer because it's got the longer forks, and those bagger swing arms are a drop longer than like a stock wheelbase FXR, but this thing rides great. You know, like it's got suspension done and stuff to it, but it rides really good, you know. I can't complain, man. I've been riding this bike for probably close to 7 years. And besides general maintenance, like every couple years, I kind of just break it down and re-gasket everything, check everything, and put it back together. I can't complain, you know. Like I said, I put about, in the 6 years, I put probably about 160, 170,000 miles on the bike. You know, I do about 20, 25,000 miles every year on the bike. This is basically my work truck. I don't really drive a car unless I really have to. And I got it set up, you know, to be super, you know, like durable. You know, it's got 2 coils on it. So it's got 2 coils. So if the one coil gets fried, I could just swap the wires, plug, and, you know, ignition, and we're back on the road, as long as that's all it is. It's got 2 voltage regulators stacked. And then here's the other plug. So same type of thing. If the regulator goes, I just, you know, unplug the one, plug the other one in, and then up under the seat I have another plug so I could swap that for the positive. I even carry a spare kickstand spring. So I mean, the thing's pretty rock solid. I got it set up to where, like, you know, I mean, it never really left me stranded. I never really had a problem with this. I messed up the clutch basket once, and I was like right in my, you know, my area where I live. So my buddy helped me get home. I was like, you know, a mile from my house. That's the only thing I've ever had a problem with this bike in all these miles, you know. And that's kind of how I built it, you know. It's not like this super flashy bike. I built it to be, you know, like a utilitarian vehicle, you know. All right, so I want to shout out all the homies. They know who they are. And shout out you for making the video, BK Low. And yeah, man, you know, just another barefoot bike.